All right, hello, welcome back, everybody. PayPal and Patreon are down below if you want to support me. Only do so if you actually can. And apologies for any audio glitches. My mic is starting to fail after about 8 or 9 years. This time I decided to do a video looking at some of the largest companies on the face of the earth who have present day yearly revenues larger than the economies of most countries. And the largest company revenue-wise is still Walmart, the gargantuan mass retail store company. Total revenue, at least for last year, 2022, was $611 billion, which, if they were a country and that were their GDP amount, that would put them at rank number 24. They would be the 24th largest economy in the world out of the total of between 193 to 200 countries or so. Saudi Aramco, last year, because of exorbitantly boosted oil prices, came in with a revenue of $535 billion, which, if that were its GDP size as a country, that would put the company as the 27th largest economy in the world. Another US company, Amazon, coming in with a revenue last year of $514 billion, would put it as the 29th largest economy in the world. SGCC, the predominant electricity provider utility company across most of China, had a revenue last year of 460 billion, which would put it as the 35th largest economy in the world out of 193. Sinopec, another Chinese company and one of the global oil majors, last year, obviously because of exorbitantly boosted oil prices, similar to Saudi Aramco, saw a revenue of $482 billion, which, if the company were a country and that were its GDP, that would put it as the 31st largest economy in the world. Back to US companies again, ExxonMobil, another one of the global oil majors, had a revenue of $414 billion last year, which, if it were a country and that were its GDP, that would place the company as the 36th or 37th largest economy in the world out of 193, 194. Another US company, Apple, one of the global predominant manufacturers of computers, electronics, software, and everything, almost saw 400 billion in revenue last year, coming a bit short of it at $394 billion. That would put it as the 41st largest economy in the world. Another one of the global oil and gas majors, Shell, formerly Dutch Royal Shell, now just Shell, as it is no longer Dutch. Predominant ownership was transferred in recent years to the UK, so it is now a British company. Last year came in with a revenue of $381 billion, which, if it were a country, would put it as the 42nd largest economy in the world. CVS and CVS Pharmacies, another US company, a countrywide chain of convenience stores, pharmacies, and also distributor of medical and pharmaceutical goods, came in last year with a revenue of $322 billion, which, if converted into a country, would have it as the 44th largest economy in the world. Trafigura, a company from Singapore, one of the world's major holders and movers, shippers of oil and gas, metal ores, metals, bulk material, came in with a revenue of $319 billion last year, which, as a country on its own, would put it in 44th place. Another US company, although the name sounds very British, Berkshire Hathaway, is a worldwide major insurance company, and they do large insurance deals for like major companies, like, say the other companies on this list we're going through, insuring factories, insuring ships, insuring pipelines, all that kind of stuff. Came in with a revenue of just over 300 billion last year, coming in at 302, which would also place them at 44. Time for a French company, Total, one of the oil and gas majors, once again. They came in with a revenue of $281 billion last year, which, if they were a country and that were their GDP, that will put them as the 47th largest economy in the world. Volkswagen, or the Volkswagen Group, as they consist of not just Volkswagen cars, but also Audi, Porsche, Skoda. They came in with a revenue of $294 billion, and are a German company. And if they were a country, that would make them the 46th largest economy in the world. And coming up close to them is the second most popular automaker in the world, Toyota, from, hopefully you're aware, Japan. And Toyota last year came in with a revenue of 275 billion, which, if they were a country, that would make them the 48th largest economy in the world. Back to another US company again, Alphabet, the owners of Google and everything Google does and is associated with, also developers and thus sellers of software, devices, internet provision and infrastructure like fiber optic cable lines and stuff. They had a revenue last year of $283 billion, which would make them, if they were a country, the 47th largest economy in the world. Chevron, another one of the oil and gas majors, had a revenue last year of 246 billion, which as a country would make them the 51st largest economy in the world. McKesson, or Mckesson, another US company and one of the world's primary designers and manufacturers and distributors of medical equipment, from basic stuff like stethoscopes and blood pressure cuffs to more complex things like hospital equipment and medicines, pharmaceuticals, drugs as well. They had a revenue last year of 264 billion, which would make them the 48th largest economy in the world if they were a country. Glencore, a Swiss company and one of the global mining majors, owner and operator of all kinds of mines everywhere across the planet, had a revenue last year of 256 billion, which would make them the 49th largest economy in the world. Commonly called Foxconn, although in the country's actual language it's called Honhai or something close to that. A Taiwanese company is a manufacturer of processors, transistors, capacitors, embedded wireless antennas, all the various kinds of individual microcomponents that comprise computer electronics. They had a revenue last year of $214 billion, which would make them the 55th largest economy in the world. Samsung, a South Korean company, manufacturer of computers, all kinds of other electronics, TVs, household devices, and appliances, had a revenue last year of $233 billion, which would place it as the 53rd largest economy in the world. Costco, a US company and a mass store retail chain in North America, had a revenue last year of 227 billion, which would make it the 53rd largest economy in the world if it were a country. And the last one to be included in this video is Microsoft, which everyone should know about probably, because that software effectively runs almost every computer, with a revenue of $212 billion last year, which would, next to Honhai, make them the 55th largest economy in the world, were they to be a country. And that's it for this one. So thank you everybody for sticking around and listening. Like if you enjoyed, subscribe if you haven't already. PayPal and Patreon are down there if you want to support me. Only do so if you actually can. Or you can also just watch or listen to any of the other dozens or hundreds of videos I have on the channel about all kinds of different stuff. Go subscribe to and watch things on my cat's channel as well. And no matter what happens to me, may God bless and protect all of you, and I will see you all around next time.